Hello friends, welcome to my Facebook Live. Today is Monday, July 18th. I'm a little bit late, so I apologize. I was trying to print out my hostess code and then my printer didn't want to work. So that's why I was late. But if you're joining, say hello. I'm going to go ahead and write the hostess code here. Let's see here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some watercolor projects. I posted a little bit this weekend about watercoloring, and I know a lot of times people feel it can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm going to share some projects with you today that I hope show you that. Let's see. Hi Lori, thanks for joining me. Let me just... Okay. So this is my current hostess code that I have open right now. And I'm sad my paper didn't print out because I'm doing a little different special today. So if you order and use this hostess code, if you order $35 or more, I'm going to actually do a drawing for a mystery hostess in the workshop. And so the nice thing about that is I'm a small demonstrator, so it's probably won't have a ton of orders, so your chances are pretty high if you place an order that you might win it. And if you win it, you'll get the hostess benefits, and then I'm also giving away this perfect pomegranate stamp set. So this is a celebration item, and it's a host-only item, so you have to host a workshop. So if you are a part of this workshop, I have one of these, so I'm automatically going to give it to you, whether we get to the minimum order or not. And if you order $50 or more, you'll get entered into my mystery hostess. You'll earn a celebration item, and I'm going to be sharing some celebration products with you today. You'll also get my tutorial bundle, my monthly tutorial bundle for free. And then you'll also get a package of these iridescent rhinestones, the basic jewels. So I did post the hostess code and the ordering benefits in this event before I went live. But like I said, my printer wouldn't work, so I couldn't print out the paper that I typed up. So minimum order $35, and I'm doing this through next Tuesday. So I'm gonna have a Facebook Live today. I'll have another one next Monday, and then on Tuesday I will draw for a hostess from anyone that places an order using this hostess code, $35 or more. Okay. So today I'm gonna share some watercoloring with you, and it's gonna be I hope it works out good. I didn't do samples, but I have an idea in my head what I want to do. Okay, so I wanted to share some of our products with you that help you with watercoloring. So we have these water painters, and they're similar to what we had in the past, which were aqua painters, and I believe that's like a different brand. They looked like this. Stampin' Up! Has their own, and I like Stampin' Up's because you get 3 in the package, and they all have different tips. So if you've never seen these before, they open up, so they unscrew, and then you put water in here, and then you screw it back on, and then it's like a paintbrush with the water already built in, so you don't need to have like a separate little cup. These are great. You can do water painting on the go. They don't leak, so you can just throw them in your bag. And then they have all these different tips. So this is a fine tip, a finer tip, I should say. This is a bolder tip. And then this one is a flat tip. So you have different brushes that you can use when you're watercoloring. So that's why I love the Stampin' Up! Ones. Plus, like I said, they don't leak, so you can throw them in your bag and take them with you. And you just need these 3 brushes. You'll see how I clean them in between colors, but you're just going to brush them on your placemat, which I need to get, and then they go clean, okay? Hey, Darla, thanks for joining us. Happy Monday to you, too. I'm glad you could be here. Another product that Stampin' Up! Has is this Fluid 100 watercolor paper. Now, you don't have to use watercolor paper, but if you struggle with watercoloring, this is going to be your best friend. If you have a hard time watercoloring on regular cardstock, you might want to try buying the watercolor paper, because this is designed for watercoloring, so it absorbs the water differently than regular cardstock does. So you can control it a little more with the watercolor paper than you can just the regular cardstock. So I would suggest if you've never tried this before and you think you suck at watercoloring, try it with the watercolor paper, because you might be surprised. I don't recall how much these are. Let me just look it up really quick. So the water painters are in the main catalog, and they are on page 129, and these are $13. And then the watercolor paper is, let me see here. I don't think it's on the same page. So these are page 129 of the annual catalog, and watercolor paper is on page 140 of the annual catalog, and it's $9. And it's already cut to 5x7, okay? And you get 10 sheets in here for $9. So if you order the water painters and the paper and maybe a couple of ink colors, possibly a stamp set, that would get you at least to the $35, if not pretty close to the $50 mark. And then you can get a celebration item to go with your supplies. So if you're a new stamper, you're new to this and you don't know what to order, if you like this watercolor technique that I'm showing you today, I would suggest getting the watercolor paper and the water painters, a couple of ink colors, get you up to the $50 mark, and then you can shop out of the celebration catalog. This is good for July and August. However, all of the products in here are only while supplies last, and once they sell out, they're gone. So we already have one item that is sold out, and that is the item that's sold out is these cards and envelopes. Okay, so these are really nice to have on hand. They're printed envelopes, printed card bases. If you need to make a quick card, the camera is pretty close here. Okay. So these are already sold out. You can no longer get these, but you can see how the cardstock here is printed. So it has an image on it. I know it's hard to see. It's a very light color, but these are already sold out. So nothing is guaranteed in here to a certain time or anything. Once it's gone, it's gone. And then you also need to pay attention to some of the items are $50 and some of the items are $100 purchase. Okay, so be mindful of that, depending on your budget. So today I'm going to be sharing with you, I'm going to be doing a project with the Hippest Hippos, and they're at the $50 price point for the stamp set, and then they have coordinating dies, and that's at a $50 price point too. So to get both, you need to spend $100. But if you're a new stamper and you don't have a die cutting machine, you can just get the stamp set, and you can actually cut them out by hand. It's not too difficult, and you could duplicate the project that I'm going to show you today. The other one that I am using, I'm also going to be using the Amazing Phrasing. So this is a celebration item. It's a $100 price point, but it's a great set because it has all of these different words that you can put on your cards. And you'll see on the Hippest Hippos, it has some words with it, but they're pretty small. And when you see what I'm going to do, you'll see why I kind of want to use some of the bigger font. Okay. And then I'm also going to be sharing with you the Ringed with Nature. So in the Celebration catalog, there is this Rings of Love Designer Series paper. It's 12 by 12. I'm in love with it. I'm going to show it to you, some of the different papers. It coordinates with one of the stamp sets out of the holiday catalog, which is the Ringed with Nature stamp set, and then the Tree Rings hybrid embossing folder and dies. Okay, so I'm going to show you a card with those. Okay. So, if you're not aware that it's Celebration, it is Celebration. It's the second round of Celebration. It goes through August 31st. But I anticipate a lot of these items selling out probably by the end of the month. So, if you have something that is just you have to have, I would place an order soon to get it. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, I have some ideas in my mind of what I want to do. And hopefully I can execute it. Well, so it is World Watercoloring Month. And as I said before, I know watercoloring can be intimidating for some people, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. So the first thing, see, the first card I'm going to show you is with the Hippest Hippos. Okay, and I am going to show you how to do, we're going to watercolor the background. And so I'm going to take out one of these sheets of the watercolor paper. And it's hard to see on my live here, but it has a different kind of texture. When you feel it, you'll totally understand why it works well with watercolors, because you can see how it would absorb the water. Okay. Okay, so, and I have my aqua painters, and I am going to be doing a background. So, I pulled out some polished pink and some whisper white. Okay, so I'm going to do my base in the polished pink, and I am going to do it like this. So bear with me because I don't have any of this prepped. It's prepped in my head. Okay, so this is my base, and I'm going to start with the polished pink. Okay, and then I'm going to have a layer of my watercolor paper. Now you'll see that it's 5 by 7, and I could cut it to my normal 1/4 inch in, which I normally do. However, that's going to require me to turn it this direction and cut off this much on the right, and then this much on the bottom, and then it doesn't leave me a lot left to work with out of this sheet. However, if I come in here, if I were to cut it right here, then I'd almost have 2 pieces that I can work with. So I'm going to actually cut it, where's my ruler? So it's 5 by 7, so I think that I'm going to actually cut it at 3 3/4. Okay. So that I have 2 pieces. They're not the same size, but this covers almost the whole piece here. Okay. And then I'm going to save this. I'll use this on my other card, the second card that I do, okay? And then I'm going to cut a scrap of this Whisper White. Just like so. Okay, and then I can move my cutter. Alright, so when we're working with watercolor, I do need a placemat. It's handy to have a placemat that's paper that can kind of absorb. You can practice on. So, Stampin' Up! Does have these placemats in the catalog, and I love using them. If you're a messy crafter, they make cleanup a breeze. So, all right. So I know there's a few of you watching. I know Lori and Darla. I'm not sure who else. But say hello if you want. And let me know, do you guys like to watercolor? Have you tried it? Do you love it? Do you not love it? Why? Talk to me. Okay. So I have a tissue here, and I'm going to kind of show you on these painters. They have, hey Katie, I'm glad you're here. If you squeeze them, the water will come out. Now, I don't recommend squeezing them over your project. You don't know how much water is going to come out, and if too much comes out, then you chance ruining your project, okay? So get a paper towel, or I have tissues in here. Get a feel for these before you start working on your project, okay? I'm going to take a piece of paper here, and I'm going to practice. This is just regular cardstock. And I'm just going to practice on this so I can show you, I can get a feel for this, because it's, you know, I haven't watercolored today, so I'm going to practice a little here before I practice on my more expensive paper, okay? So Darla says she hasn't tried watercoloring yet. Are you interested? Okay, so you're not going to be able to see my water here because it's white, but maybe you can, I'm not sure. But so I'm just kind of getting the paper wet. I'm getting a feel for the brush. And we're going to do a background here. So I'm using polished pink. I'm going to squeeze it so that I get a little bit of ink on my lid. Some people go directly to the pad. I don't like to do that. I like to get it off of the lid. That's just my preference. I'm going to pick up some of this color. It's good to practice with it so you can see how saturated the color is. So see how this has these brush marks? I don't want the brush marks. Okay, to me that's not really watercolor. I mean, I guess it could be, but I want it to look like it's colored water on there, not a colored brush. So I'm going to mix up some more of the color here with the water. Now remember, when you're doing this, you can always add more color. You can't take it away, okay? So this is going to keep doing these brush strokes here. Let's see here. So it's going to be really light, and we'll build on the color. So can you see it down here? It's doing what I want it to now, okay? And now this isn't watercolor paper, so it's going to take a minute to dry, but you would build that color. You get it darker and darker, okay? So on this, my card is going to go this direction, and I just want a watercolor background, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet this paper, okay? So I'm getting the whole thing wet because I want that color to spread out. So you need to get it wet first, okay? And because it's watercolor paper, it's going to take a lot of water. Don't be afraid. You can always put it aside and let it dry, okay? And I'm not going all the way to the edges because I want that white to show through in the background, okay? And I'm picking up a little of this color, and I'm just bringing it on, okay? And it's hard to see in the video, but hopefully you'll see as I build. And it's just going darker, okay? Let me know if you guys are able to see that. I want it dark enough that you can at least see it, so. Okay, so I'm just going across, adding more color as I go. But you can see I don't have any of those brush strokes. It's just color. Okay, now I'm going to put a little more ink on my lid. Okay. Add some more water down here. If this gets too dry, it's going to give me those brush strokes. So I want to make sure it stays wet. Okay, and I'm going to do a little ombre effect. So I'm going to go a little darker at the bottom. And then go lighter as I go to the top. The nice thing with the watercolor paper is it's designed to hold that water so you can build on it. If I was doing this with regular paper, it would start to fall apart by now. It would be breaking down the fibers. It's not strong enough. So okay. So we're going to do that and set it aside. And hopefully it'll get a little darker so you guys can see it. If not, you'll have to check the photos because it's there. It'll show up better in the photos. Okay. So let's put that aside to dry, and now we're going to work on our focal point. Okay, so I know watercoloring can be intimidating, but just because you want to do some watercoloring doesn't mean the entire card has to be watercolored. Okay, so we are going to do our hippo, but we're not going to watercolor her because I'm not very good at watercoloring these very small images. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. We are going to use our blends instead, because with the blends, you can get kind of a watercolored effect without actually having to watercolor. So if you're not that good at watercoloring, maybe you just watercolor the background, and then do what I'm going to do here. Okay, so I have my Memento ink, and I have my blends. I have Smoky Slate and Polished Pink. Okay, and I have my Hippo. So let's set this aside to dry. And I am going to die cut this out because I have the dies and I want to show them to you. So I'm just going to stamp it a little bit in. Okay. Give that a minute before we start coloring it. Okay. Clean off my stamp. While that's kind of sitting there for a minute, I am going to embellish it with the iridescent rhinestones. That's one of the reasons why this is a gift with purchase today. I pulled out my Wink Stella. I thought I might use that. And then I also pulled out my gold and rose gold 6x6 metallic specialty paper. I wanted some sparkly, and I couldn't find my ombre in color paper. So I thought that this might kind of go. That one might not, but maybe the gold. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think the gold might. So we'll try that out. This will go with the next card too. So you'll get to see that. So these are nice little papers to have on hand just to use for accents on your card. Almost like additional embellishments. So, okay. All right, so then we're ready to color this. So I am going to start, I like to start with the lighter color. Okay, and hope this still works okay. Nope, that doesn't. It's dried out. I have another set right here. Luckily. Okay. Okay. So, I like to start with the lighter color. And just gonna color her in. I'm trying to think here. So this is her tutu here, and then she has a belly, which would probably be the lighter color. So I'm gonna color the whole thing. So sometimes you have to kind of think a little bit before you start coloring. So I'm gonna do the whole thing the lighter color. Okay. I'm not going to do the very bottom of her little feet because those are her shoes, so those are going to be pink. Okay. Get that in there. Darla has a question. Once your blender dries out, is there a way to revive it? There is. So that one's not dried out. So this one is dried out, but it's also the tip is kind of not very nice. So this one I may or might not keep. However, and that might be just because I have classes, in-person classes, and people come use these, and it's just the cost of my business, right? So, but what you can do is you can take, there's little nubs here, okay, and you can grab this and you can actually pull it out like so, and you can see on this that it's like lighter down here, but it's darker down here, and it's because there's more ink down here. And you can actually put this in a little bit of alcohol, but I believe it has to be the 90%, not the typical 70% that you get like at the drugstore. It has to be, it has to have more of the alcohol content in it. And you soak a little bit in there, and it should help revive it. Now, I've never actually done it because I don't have the alcohol that I need. And most of mine, they don't dry out very often, and typically when they do, it's because I've used them for a class, and they've been used for like 3 classes, and so they're pretty well like worn on the top. But try it, because I mean, worst case, you're gonna throw it away anyways, right? So I don't think it takes a ton of alcohol, but you would just stick it in a little bit of that alcohol, and then it should revive it. So try that, and hopefully that works for you. Okay. Same thing with this little end. This little nub comes out as well. And like this one kind of works. So I already have a backup, but if I can find some of that alcohol, I forget every time I go out, but if I can find some, I'll have to try it and let you know. And if you try it, Darla, you'll have to come back and let us know. So, okay, so here's our darker color. I want to do my pink. I'm going to use my fine tip on these. I'm using the lighter color. I don't know. I might only get to 1 card today with y'all. If that's the case, I might have to go live again tomorrow or something, because I do want to show you this other card. Okay, And so I'm just going to do the darker kind of up in here, closer to their body. Okay. And then come back and kind of pull that color down with the blend. And so you kind of get a similar look to watercolor, okay? All right, and so then we have our darker color here. And so I'm gonna leave her belly lighter, okay? So I'm gonna come in with the darker and kind of come in this way. I like to have both of my pens because I like to kind of blend it before it dries. Okay, come back in here. Yeah, if there's ever anything you all want to see me do on my lives, feel free to message me and let me know, because sometimes I just don't know what to show. Okay. Okay. And then we'll do a little darker down here because there's some shadowing on her legs, right? And then down here under her skirt, I'm going to do the whole thing dark. Okay. Okay. So there's that. And so then with the dies, open up the dies. Now you could easily fussy cut this out with scissors if you don't have a die cutting machine. If you don't have a die cutting machine and you would like one, but you can't afford one, you really should let me know, because I would love to help you try to get one. Okay, so there's a die, so we're going to cut that out. And I think that I am going to cut a couple of these flowers out with some of the pink as well. Okay, so I have my die cutting here. Let me get my other plate. And so we're going to set this on here. Just like so. If you wanted to, you could use washi tape. If you were lucky enough to get one of the magnetic platforms before they stopped selling it and yours still works, you could use that. It's a different color paint. Give me a second here. guess we'll just use this. And so I like to run it through all at once, and I'm going to put those flowers just like so. Okay? So, be right back. Okay, it's a tiny bit off. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not going to make you watch me do it all over again, but I might try to clean it up. I don't know. Let's see. Here's some of our flowers. I wonder if I moved it over a little. Alright, I cleaned it up a little bit, and just a few more flowers. Fussy cut the white before you actually attach it. Okay. Okay. So I ran it through again and got pretty close on the other side, so I think that looks pretty good. I have my little flowers here. Because it didn't come out quite the way I want it, I'm gonna, this is, I forget what this is called, but it's a new punch, and it's like a circle. I forget what it's called, but it's kind of like a wavy circle. So I'm gonna use that. Okay, and then we have our background. Okay. So I was gonna use this gold. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna layer that on there like so. I have my dies. I have my little flowers. I'm gonna use some of this ribbon. So this is the new soft polyester ribbon, and it's super, super soft, and it's wide and flat. It's kind of thick. So I'm just gonna do some abstract ribbon stuff. So I'm just gonna eyeball it and cut it like that. And then this is one of the new in colors. This is the Orchid Oasis, kind of that metallic ribbon. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. So cut some of that. And I'm going to embellish with the rhinestones. And I think, I'm not sure where I want this gold to go. I think I might have it go around the background. I kind of like that. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. So I need 3 7/8. This does have kind of like a grain to it, so be mindful of that depending on how you're doing your project. So 3 7/8. and then it's 5, so 5 1/8. And then we can layer this on there, and then it just has a little gold outline. Okay, and then that's going to go on our paper. Now, hopefully you can see how this got darker. And when it dries, if you wanted to go back over it and do it some more, you could. I actually like it the way it is. It's nice and soft. Okay. So now I'm going to adhere this. Now, because this is watercolor paper and it can hold all that water, it tends to bow. So I like to use my tear tape for it. Okay, so I'm going to put some tear tape on the back along the edges. And I can't find my, I shouldn't say I can't find, I had a kit together last night, and so a lot of my supplies are in the bag still with that. So that was a lot of fun. We got together and everyone picked out their own kit and just hung out and had snacks and visited, and it was a lot of fun. Okay. So we'll place this down. Okay. Oh, and then I want to stamp my words on here. Okay, so I'm going to use this Wahoo. And I think I'm going to do Wahoo and let's say You Did It. Because I made it through this card. Alright. So we'll do the Wahoo, and I am going to use my polished pink. Well, actually, no, I think, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Should I do the Orchid Oasis, the words in the Orchid Oasis, or should I do it in the polished pink? And I'm going to be stamping it on here. Okay, and so this is how the card is going to kind of go. This is going to go down here. Okay. Actually, I might just leave the hippo like that without the circle. And then the words are going to go up here. So what do you guys think I should do? Which color? While I get this ready. And we said You Did It. So You did it. You did it. Any suggestions? I see there's 4 of you out there. Someone speak up. Should I do the words? I think I might do the pink. No one's saying anything. So, okay. Darla says orchid will look good with the ribbon. I don't know. Now I can't decide. I'm going to use the pink. That's what I have open. Okay. But thank you. Okay. Now, because this is a little bolder font, and because I only get 1 shot on here, I am going to use my pad underneath this because it's photopolymer and it doesn't have any cushion. And so I need to create some cushion so that I can ensure that that stamp makes contact with the paper. Okay. So the nice thing about the photopolymer is if you wanted to kind of curve this, you can. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to do that. and then you did it. I'm going to do this right underneath. Okay. Alright. Oh, and we didn't do our splatters. So, this is the Wink Stella. And what I'm going to do is I have my bone folder here. And you're probably not going to see this, but hopefully you can see it when I take a photo of the card. And I am just going to go like this. And it's going to put splatters on my card and my face. So you can't see it, but they're on there. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to help. So I'm doing that. You want little bigger splatters, then you go in this direction. Okay. So do that. All right. And then, so we're going to have this down. So let's see, how are we going to do this? I know I want that kind of, let's see here. I think what I'll do maybe is tie this one around. Like so. Trim that up. You do need to make solid cuts with this when you trim it. If you stop midway, it doesn't look as pretty. You can see there. Okay. All right. And then I kind of want this in the background, so I'm going to put this down first. And what I do is I just wrap it around my hands several times. And make sure you have a hold of it, and then you can just kind of pull these different directions where you want them, and then you can take a dimensional, and then I like to stick the dimensional down and then stick this on like so. And if you wanted to, you could stick another dimensional on top just to make sure they don't go anywhere. Okay. And then for our hippo, she's gonna kind of be dancing through these, so we'll need one over here and one over here and one down here. Okay, and then I'm going to put these little flowers on, and I like to curl them a little with my fingers. And we'll use a little of the Tombow glue. And then I'll put this on to our card base. I'm going to use liquid glue for this one. And then we need to put some rhinestones on it. So you can see how my card has a watercolor look to it, but I didn't do a lot of watercoloring. Okay, so you can get watercolor looks on your cards without doing the entire thing in watercolor. Okay, so don't have my regular scissors, but let's put that on there, and let's see here. Nope, that's gonna stay there. Okay, and move that down. Nope. Okay. I'll put a bigger one down here. And so there's my card. Isn't that fun? And so it uses some watercolor technique, but nothing real intimidating. And it shows you the sweet hippos. Those were just something I was not going to get, but they're super cute. Just seeing all the different ideas that you can do with them. So if you're local, I would suggest you sign up for my card club that's at the end of the month, because we are going to be playing with celebration items, and I'm going to try to show you lots of different ideas with them. So I didn't get to show you my second card, so I will try to go live another time this week to show that. Otherwise, I'll do it next Monday. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. As I said at the beginning, if you place an order $35 or more using this hostess code, I will do a drawing from everyone that orders to get the hostess benefits. What else? If it's $50 or more, your name will go into that drawing. You'll get a package of these iridescent rhinestones. You'll get my monthly tutorial bundle, and you'll get a celebration item. So, and I gave you some ideas today about what you could order. And I hope you learned something. Please feel free to share this video with others. That's how I grow my customer base. And I appreciate your support. And as I said, if you have any suggestions on any card projects you'd like to see or techniques, please message me, and I'll try to build those into my Facebook Lives. So, hope you all have a great week, and thanks for joining me. Bye.